Welcome to WP Laminating. Thank you for your interest in our innovative solutions for cutting and decorating products in the sector of dough strand processing. With this video, we would like to show you how our newly developed systems for cutting dough strands function and how you can profit by using this technology. Deviations in weight are inevitable when dough strands are cut with conventional guillotines. This is caused by the guillotine making each cut to a preset size. This type of system, however, is unable to take into account bubbles, contractions, or other irregularities in the dough. This can lead to deviations of up to 20% depending on the type of dough and recipe. The manufacturer is left with no other choice than to add more dough or set the size larger than necessary in order to compensate for these fluctuations. Seen in economic terms from today's point of view, conventional cutting systems don't represent an ideal solution. The newly developed image processing system functions in the following way. Two cameras are fastened to a special construction above the dough strand line. They scan the complete width of the strand from above and generate a laser beam which can be seen as light barrier above the conveyor belt. Whilst the dough strands are being transported through the laser beam, the smart cameras record the three-dimensional form of the strands. Even the slightest irregularities in the surface are detected, converted into data and processed by the computer unit. Three different systems are available for cutting the dough strands. First, the conventional single-blade guillotine. Second, multi-blade guillotines with individually driven blades. The number of dough strands determines the number of blades. Third, the high-performance delta cutting robot, which is able to cut the dough strands but also carry out decorative cuts. With the upstream 3D image processing system, the conventional guillotine achieves a much higher weight precision than systems without 3D measurement. The control system calculates the ideal cut with the help of mathematical algorithms. Standard deviations in product weights depending on dough control, dough recipe and machine are up to 20% without 3D measurement and about 6 to 8% with 3D measurement. The multi-blade guillotine is a new development by WP. Because of its modular design, blades can be added accordingly to suit the required operating width and number of dough strands. With their individual drives, the blades no longer cut the dough strands according to a preset cutting size, but to the required product weight instead. The high-resolution cameras detect all irregularities in the surface of the dough. On the basis of this data, the control system calculates the exact product weight and then triggers the cutting process individually for each dough strand. Standard deviation in product weight when using a multi-blade guillotine with 3D measurement amounts to about 1 to 2%, depending on the type of dough control and machine. In comparison, the weight difference when using a conventional single-blade guillotine with 3D measurement amounts to about 6 to 8%. A particular feature of the delta cutting robot is its hygienic design, which is why it is predestined for processing open foodstuffs. The delta cutting robot differs from other previously presented cutting systems because of its movable robot arm. With its 3 electrical drives, this can rotate freely in a previously determined radius. The cutting tool separates the dough strand exactly, according to weight specifications with a standard deviation of only 1 to 2%. The cutting tool at the end of the robot arm can be turned within a plane by 185 degrees or 360 degrees, respectively, so that the robot can also use triangles and diamond shapes out of the dough belt. These products also have a weight precision of 1 to 2%. The second area of application for the Delta cutting robots is the decoration of dough pieces. Various decorating tools are available. By the way, the dough pieces don't have to be positioned correctly in rows for the decorative cut. An integrated position detector ensures correct positioning of the decorative cuts at all times. The maximum hourly output is in the region of about 10,000 portioning cuts and about 12,000 decorative cuts. The Delta cutting robot, therefore, is not only practical, but also flexible to use. It's possible that the dough pieces may be lying partly offline on the conveyor belt following portioning by the multi-blade guillotine or the Delta cutting robot. In order to achieve a correct delivery formation, we recommend using a downstream alignment belt, a module which aligns all the products back into their exact rows. The three demonstrated cutting systems each consist of cameras, cutting units and the conveyor belts, which are located underneath. Each of these is only 2 meters long and fitted with its own individual drive. This means that these modules can be integrated into existing production lines without any problem. They're also interchangeable. On the basis of 3 examples, we will now show you what potential savings can be achieved by integrating WP cutting systems into your production lines. Example 1. Ciabatta roll production. For the production of semi-baked ciabatta rolls, the target weight in our example is 65 grams after the first baking process. The difference is 1082 ciabatta rolls, which means that with 3D measurement, 1082 more ciabatta rolls can be made from the same original amount of dough. Example 2. Baguette production. The baking weight is 300 grams for the production of semi-baked baguettes from one dough strand, in high-quality craftsmanship with a coarse, uneven pore structure. The difference is 276 baguettes, which means that with 3D measurement, 276 more baguettes can be made from the same original amount of dough. Example 3. Production of Danish pastries. In this case, the baking weight for the production of raisin spiral buns is 125 grams. With this type of pastry, the baking loss is cancelled out again by subsequent after-baking glazing and decorating. The difference amounts to 758 raisin spiral buns, which means that with 3D measurement, 758 more raisin spiral buns can be made from the same original amount of dough. The various WP cutting systems, combined with the new 3D image processing technology, offer decisive advantages. Very precise weight division, even with soft and proof dough. Minimum standard deviations of just 1 to 2% for cutting, depending on dough control and recipe. Greater yields from same initial volume of dough. Significant reduction in expenditure for adherence to weight specifications on packaging. Large variety of decorative cuts when using the Delta cutting robot, even with unsorted positioning of the dough pieces. The production of high-quality bakery products is possible without restriction using WP cutting technology because there is no need for any compromises with dough recipes and dough control.